Hi, I'm Alejandro, and this is Vanessa Velasquez. Today we will be demonstrating how to use micropipettes.
The following materials that you will need for this procedure. You will need pipette tips according to their micropipettes. This is one of them, and this one is according to these tips. This one is from 10 to 100, and that is matched to this one. This one right here is 100 to 1000, and those need a bigger tip. You will also need tube racks, and with that you need the tubes. Also, you'll need samples for this procedure. You will also need a beaker to dispose of the trash of the tips.
There are two stops to the micropipette. The first stop is to extract the sample. So there's the first stop, and you can feel that. The second stop is to release all of the sample out of the pipette. So there's your second stop, and you'll feel that too. So what you want to do is you want to come over here, and it comes up by itself. And then you come down, you press to the first stop, you push it in, and then you release inside the sample. And you come to the tube rack, and then you just press down all the way to the second stop so it all comes out. Then you come down to your trash and you use your eject button and you let it all out. Here's some tips on pipetting. The first tip I want to talk about is to make sure to label your tube. So you can either put initials on the top or you can write what it is on the side of it. Either one's good, whatever works for you better. I highly recommend labeling because I've messed up a bunch of times and it is not good because then you have to start all over. Sometimes you're right at the end and the whole thing gets ruined. It's just a bad thing. And also, when you're pipetting, you want to make sure you change tips in between because say you go to one sample and then you go to a different sample and a different sample, then you got all these different things and then your samples are going to come out really weird and it's not good. You have to restart that all over too. And another thing you want to make sure on this pipette is that when you put in your dials, you want to make sure you're on the right quantities. So if you're putting 3, you want to make sure it's not 3.5 or 2.5. Like you want to make sure you have the right quantities here. Because if you have too much or too less of something, you'll completely mess up and then you have to restart the whole project. And it's not a good thing, especially for Pinkerton because he has limited resources, limited primer, this and that. He's gonna need your help to focus and stay on track. And this right here is a gel electrophoresis box. It makes the gel and it holds the gel inside.
And I will be demonstrating how to make a 0.8% agarose base gel.
To make an agarose gel, you will need the following materials. Here we have a mold with well molds. That goes there. You will need electrophoresis buffer, a beaker that has 100 milliliters, agarose powder, spoon, and a scale. So now you will need to measure 0.8 grams of agarose. This comes in a powder. Come here. You get some with your spoon. And you just put it in the middle. And you see the balance here. Make sure it's at 0.8. Right now we have a 0.3. So we're going to add a little bit more. So we have 0.4. That's 0.9, so we're going to have to take some away. And there we go. We got 0.8. So now that you have 0.8 grams of agarose, you will place it in this beaker right here. Here. Now that you have 0.8 grams in this beaker,
Of
you
what?
will need to place 100 milliliters of electrophoresis buffer into the beaker. So we're just going to add some until we get 100. And that's about good. We're going to spin it around here with a spoon.
Keep going.
You can't do this again. Wait, how far did you get?
That's okay. Just keep spinning.
Good. Now that we mixed the solution for a little bit, we're going to place it in the microwave for 4 minutes. So now we will be placing the solution in the microwave for 4 minutes. And after that's done, we're going to let it cool down for... So now that the gel has cooled down a little bit, we're going to pour it into the mold. This is going to be the box that's going to be used to get the mold into the gel electrophoresis. So we're just going to pour it in here. And now we're going to put the wells in. Now that the gel has cooled down and hardened, it should look something like this. So you want to look at how it's oriented and make sure that you put it in the box correctly. You can refer to this as the top and this as the bottom. So this side is going to be oriented to this side, which is the negative side indicated by the black, and this is the positive side indicated by the red. Go down like this, and the gel will be running from here to here. So now we'll be adding the electrophoresis buffer, and we're going to add it to the sides here. You can see that there's openings here, and we're going to add the buffer just so it covers the top of the gel. So we're just going to go ahead and start this here. Go to this side too. Alright, we're gonna add a tad bit more.
Yeah, you can add a little more. Make sure it covers it up a little.
Alright, so that's about good. So now we'll be adding the samples to the gel, and this is probably the most difficult part of the lab. So indicating on the lab that you're doing, you should put it to the correct setting, and we'll be adding it now. So now you come here, you grab your sample, and I have to be careful to not put the sample outside of the well. It should be going inside. Sometimes helps to just hover over it and try to find the well, and you just want to go slowly. You gotta take your time here, and then you go slowly, and then you just release to the second stop, and that's it. Now we'll be adding another one.
Oh, you're having fun with it, huh?
Yep. Now we'll add this one. You get good with it with time.
Beautiful. That looks good. And even if that happens, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
It doesn't really affect any other
So it
wells.
should look something like this. The sample should be inside. And
That's it.
now we'll be placing the lid on top of the gel electrophoresis box. It will be placing the wires to the corresponding outlets. Red goes with the red, and black goes with the black. And then we switch that button there, and it should be running. Those are the watts, and that's our box there with our samples. Now you'll place the beaker.
You need to relax because the video.
So now that you have the solution,